Although, the orange one's really good.
Let's see. Looks like my audio is coming through fine. You guys make some noise.
Hello, hello.
Noise.
I screamed and it was too high pitched
Yeah, I
and it
didn't
didn't
hear it at
pick
all.
up.
Did
So
not come through. What's up, Nobushino Weve?
Scrumuck.
Scrump. Scrump.
Scrump.
Yes, Scrump.
Yeah, because that's a normal thing.
Obviously.
I don't judge your name. Jesus.
My name
We're
is
supposed to be
Noel.
childhood friends and you're already
Oh,
judging
shit.
my name.
Little peek behind the
No.
curtain.
Bradley is judging this child's
Scrump.
name. Yes. Bradley is not childhood friends with Mr. Scrump.
Scrump.
I need you to enunciate the M a little bit more. Scrump.
Nikolaj.
Scruck.
Nikolaj.
Yeah, I feel like we want to put a P between the M and the K, like scrump. Like, there's a weird,
Yeah.
like, we're
That's
adding
offensive.
a letter.
Don't say that.
Scrump.
Scrump.
You're a
If I
scrump.
hear a P in that, I will literally lose my mind.
P.
A P.
Oh, you're that
He will
kid.
P.
Say it right.
No.
Hello everyone. I'm NeverSayDice, Logan NeverSayDice on the internet. I'm not Logan on the. Oh, I guess I am Logan on the internet. And I'm just here to play Cthulhu Dark with my
Question
friends. So yes, we're doing a little one-shot here, a prequel story to kind of see where Bradley's former Shadows of Driftchapel character Kamin came from. We're actually going sort of prequel.
Prequel.
I think what was revealed a bit in the actual campaign was that Kamin sort of woke up and were in a city and did some underground work where he met Amina, and then they traveled together and found themselves on the way to Driftchapel. So we're kind of picking up even before that, way back in the day, when Kamin was not really Kamin. And
Or
so
maybe he was never a Cayman all along.
the real Kamin was the scrumps
Friends
we made along the way.
The scrumps.
Scrums. I can't do it.
Scrumbus.
Scrumbus.
The Scrumbo.
I want you to know that when I was coming up with that, I was like, what's like the grossest sounding name that I can
So
I'm good at what I do. What can I say?
So, you may notice it's a little bit different. Drew got called in for some wedding
Things.
duties. So he had to dip and run and drive very quickly.
Take a
minute.
wedding duty.
He had to go take a wedding duty. And then Daniel, I believe, is playing in some pit orchestras right now for musicals. I think that's why you can't do.
Mhm.
One of those things.
So
Is it-
you're
is
stuck
it
with me
Grease then?
instead.
I think he's doing Grease.
I think that's what he's doing.
Just think, you could have missed out on Scrump.
Scrum. Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
scrum, and then you slap a K after,
Scrum.
like a beat later. Scrum.
Scrum.
It's like I'm beatboxing. Scrump.
Scrum.
Dude, I'm on fire tonight. We haven't even started. Let's go.
So, of course, we're doing a prequel stuff before Kamin was a full-fledged adventurer, when he was actually someone else and more of a dock worker and a typical everyday Joe, as it were. A typical everyday Jude, as it were.
I was about to say, I thought his name was Jude.
And of course, D&D does not represent that kind of storytelling very well, unless I gave you all commoner stat blocks and we went about our day. That would not be fun for anybody. So instead, we switched up. We're using a different system. This is a very base level Call of Cthulhu system called Cthulhu Dark. All you need are 3d6. And that's it. And then you start playing. They had so little to worry about going into this. It's gonna be a lot of fun, but of course, lots of role playing, lots of problem solving, and a little bit of horror along the way.
Very cool. Love that.
So, we are not going to be in Driftchapel for today's session. We are going to be a little further south, across Trawler's Bay, the body of water that sits at Driftchapel, across Trawler's Bay all the way to the Egg-filled Isles. It's this cluster of islands across Trawler's Bay that is owned by and ruled by the Barony of Strand, which is the Driftchapel, the Bog, Cairnstead, all of those places up there. But it's a little bit more isolated, all these smaller islands. Now, I can actually show a little map here. Oh, that's the artwork. Let me show you a little map here. Actual map. I whipped up this somewhat simplified map of the Egg-filled Isles. There's a couple noteworthy locations. Most notably, where a lot of our adventure will happen, or at least the home of the adventure, is in Dornport. This is the trade hub. This is where all the ships go in and out. This is where all the good food, the good music, the good bars, everything is in Dornport. Whereas a lot of these little smaller islands are home to more homes, farmsteads, and if you go even farther out, the Temple of Rooksgate, and a few other houses out that way as well. But the real action, of course, happens in Dornport, which is where we'll begin. People come and go through Dornport year-round, whether just visiting, whether their home is here and they're just passing through, dropping off whatever shipments, or coming in from a long journey and seeking a little bit of company. And as sailors out at sea are wont to do as they come back into town, they may want some company that aren't their deck mates of, weeks and months. And as sailors come and go, they sometimes leave children behind, which has led to the construction of the Little Flock Orphanage, run by the Temple Rooksgate. Now, of course, even the adults and even the most faithful across the Barony of Strand aren't the most religious anymore. They don't hear the call of the gods like they once did. Scripture doesn't speak as loud as it once does. And even more can be said for the children. Even when the people teaching you the scripture aren't invested in it, you can imagine that the kids aren't going to be invested in it either. So at a very early age, many of the kids in the Little Flock Orphanage start sneaking out and leaving and going and working, doing odd jobs for people to go buy whatever amazing snacks are for sale at Dornport, whatever wonderful candies come in from all these shipments. And some kids tend to work on the ships for just criminally low pay. Because ship captains know they can get away with it. They toss the kids a couple coppers, they can buy themselves some hot chocolate, and they go about their business. So, of course, little child exploitation, they start hiring some kids to clean the deck, tie up, coil up some of the ropes to move a little bit of cargo if they're big and strong enough. And they have been lovingly called deck rats. So, I'd like to introduce our deck rats here. So we'll start with, actually, we'll save the man of the hour for last. We'll jump in with Cathara. Rachel, if you will introduce and describe your character.
Hello, I am Kathara. I should probably do a voice. We're kids.
Yes.
So I'm 6 years old. My name's Kathara.
Are you supposed to be that young?
No older than 12,
Catharas.
but you can be however young you want.
I'm 6. I have like mousy brown hair, really terribly cut bangs in the front, and then I just let it kind of go long in the back, so it's a little bit like a mullet, kind of. I have like pretty dark freckles, but I'm pretty pale as there's not a lot of time for just hanging out in the sunshine. What else? I'm kind of a string bean. I'm pretty thin. Um, I have these weird gray eyes that are kind of creepy because it almost looks like I don't have pupils sometimes because they're gray, and I'm so pale. It's a little weird. Um, but I'm I'm pretty shy. But I really like sports. If you ever need a extra player on your side for like touch football or rugby or whatever, I'm down for that.
Rugby.
I can't wait to
The
be a part of
national
the
sport of the
6-year-old. Yeah,
egg-filled Isles.
Rugby.
Rugby.
6-year-old rugby league.
I really love sports.
I like
Um,
specifically like rugby because I'm imagining this 6-year-old just clobbering people on the field.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. Sometimes people call me Cat, but my whole name, the long name is Cathar. That's me. I like to do stuff around I don't know what I do around the decks. Should I know that, DM?
You're a string bean who likes sports.
I like to be strong and do active stuff.
Yeah, so I imagine
But
you'd
I'm a
be
string
doing a
bean.
lot of that, of moving things, probably moving things quickly too, almost making a game out of it.
Yeah, I try to do it faster than everybody else. Like I remember in school sometimes the teacher will say like, oh, I need some strong
Whoa,
boys
we don't go to
pack
school.
up some chairs, and
Oh,
I
and you
try to
carry
pick up like
4.
7 chairs.
Yeah.
I usually can do it, but sometimes I don't get to it.
Do you also wear shorts whenever you have to go run outside, even though it's like 20 degrees?
No, I wear clothes that are 3 sizes too big because they don't have clothes that are my size.
Oh, really?
In the orphanage.
That's fair. Wearing Kamin's hand-me-downs.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
That's me.
Jacob, if you want to introduce your character.
Okay. My name is Rasmus Scrump. I'm about 7 years old. I working at the dock because my daddy he got a big old gambling debt, and then he skipped out of town and he gave it all that money to me. But I think he's gonna be back sometime to pay that off for me. But that's why I'm working around the docks. They don't let me.
Gave you all of his winnings. I was like,
No,
why are you
he gave me all the
All
debt.
of his debt.
And I told him, Daddy, I'm 7. I don't know what to do with no debts, but that's okay. But I'm only pretty good at moving the boxes because I'm pretty strong for a 7-year-old. But they don't let me count the boxes no more because I don't count so good. I never been to them fancy schools, but I can move the boxes real good. I'm pretty skinny, but I got nice blonde hair, but it looks brown right now because I hadn't bathed in a while. Water for drinking, not for bathing. That's what my daddy always said.
I love this voice that you're doing. It's like kind of Kermit the Frog, kind of Southern kid.
But definitely a
Terrible.
character named Cletus somewhere.
Yeah.
Like,
It's like Plankton's family in that episode of
Yeah.
SpongeBob.
yep. Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, Jesus.
Em just texted me and said, "I spit out my water when you introduced yourself."
I think we all about did.
Oh god.
That's me. I'm Rasmus Scrump.
Oh my god.
So, wow, the most normal probably of the three of you. Bradley, if you want to introduce.
I had not anticipated of doing a voice or anything else because I am a 26-year-old man with a relatively deep voice. So doing a child's voice will be difficult. But my name is Jude Edwards. I'm 12 years old, so I'm a bit older than a lot of the other people there at the orphanage, and they kind of do whatever I say, whatever I need to do, and I'm kind of the big shot around town, so to speak. I've been here the longest, survived the longest, haven't been kidnapped and set about on a ship quite yet. So we're getting there, though. We're working our way up in the ranks. I know there's a couple captains out there that have got their eyes on me. I'll make a good captain boy, yeah. But anyway,
It's like
I'm here just kind of keep my ear to the ground, make sure everybody knows what's going on, what jobs are available, what we can get going, so that we can get as much as we can, as much payment as we can, so we can get all the candy that we want, all the food that we need, and that way we can kind of sit around and relax at the end of the day. I'm here to be the smooth talker, the guy who gets us the work that needs to be doing and keeps us all safe in the end.
I respect him
Relatively,
because he knows the big words.
Yeah,
relatively.
like that relatively word. I don't know what that is. Sounds smart though.
Relatively a lanky kid, probably, or average height for his age, because I don't know what the fuck average height for a 12-year-old would be.
What's a 12-year-old?
A height. Kind of
I don't
dark,
measure my students. I don't know.
dark
I feel like I
brown,
was like
almost
4
black.
foot something.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Dark brown, kind of like matted black hair that has been like attempted to be slicked back, but keeps like coming back forward because there's nothing that really keeps it from being slicked back.
He just
So it
has
just
to
ends
lick
up
his
being
hand
very
every
messy. Yeah,
couple
lick
minutes.
his hand and peel it back,
Yep.
and it hasn't been washed in a while. So some natural oils kind of helping keeping it in
Au
place.
naturel.
Yummy.
We're just old kind of ratty, tattered hand-me-down clothing that he's been able to kind of scrap together, but in a front kind of like vest pocket. He says there's a little extra little lump of something, and if you get to know Jude well enough, you get to meet Malachi there, and he's a little rat that lives in his pocket.
That's not what I
We need
thought.
that emotes ASAP.
I know.
More Malachi emo.
It's the same emote, but it's a rat with the one
It's
eye.
a rat.
It's a rat with one eye.
Oh man. So you all working throughout Dornport for most of the day, earning whatever coin you can. Eventually, though, you are all hollered over by Captain Montague, who captains the Crow's Feather, or the Feather for short. You've done plenty of work for him. Very nice man. And when he calls you over, he's just this big round man with brown skin, this kind of dark prickly beard. And he has these big meaty hands that he always has a cup of black coffee, just bitter smelling in one hand. And he yells for all of you to come over and pulls you to the side, gets down on one knee. And at this point, the sun is starting to go down. You maybe still have another hour or so before you need to start heading back to the orphanage for, like, lights out. But, so it's a little odd for him to, like, call you over. And he gets down real low on one knee. Says, listen, kids, I know it's getting dark, but I have a really important job for you.
Well, shoo-wee, what is it?
Said,
Chewy.
I get a point of inspiration every time you laugh.
Shoo-wee. He says, my neighbor, Miss Millie, I was supposed to bring something to her, special delivery from the mainland, and, well, I'm gonna have to head out soon. I'm not gonna have time to walk across the Crow's Edge and go to her house and give it to her. Now, I just need some strapping young kids like yourselves to go just deliver this little box to her. He sits down and he says, I'll give you 5 copper each.
Shoo, I never had that much money before.
Well, now that's a fantastic price, and we appreciate the offer for sure. But you're getting us a little close to turning the street lamps on. We got to be home by then. So I think you may be able to do a little bit better.
Jude, I really want that money, though.
Oh, man. Oh, Rasmus is the one that gets everyone in trouble. Like, immediately gives up the
He's the
gig.
kind of kid, I meant to say this in the description. He's the kind of kid, if you said, hey man, if you eat a little bit of glue, I'll give you $5, and he would just be like eating the entire jar, and then it's just like, can I have my $5 now?
Bradley,
Sticky hands.
if you will go ahead and roll 2 of your d6s, your human capability die and your occupational die.
Oh boy. I got a 1 and a 2.
So your highest die shows how well you do. On a 1, you barely succeed, and on a 6, you do brilliantly. So on a 2, you see that he looks at you. Alright, well, I can't promise anything, but if you head quickly, if you walk real fast, and don't get caught, don't let anybody stop you. If you walk real fast, you might catch Miss Millie around dinner time. She makes a mean meal. But if you hurry, she might be able to cook you up dinner, and if you're real nice to her, she might let you stay the night.
You think she has potato? Oh yeah. Okay. Let's grab the cat. Can you grab the box? We'll see you around, Cat.
I grab it and
Oh.
run. Just fucking book it.
Maybe she'll
As
have
fast as
something
I
that's
can.
not rat.
Not rat. And Captain Montague's like,
Malachi
wait, you're not
is
eating a rat's heart. Oh no. Oh. Writes down, get Rasmus checked for take him to the doctor.
I don't believe in that mumbo jumbo. You can't. I don't have no money to go to no doctor. Healthcare
Rasmus
ain't
is an
free.
anti-vaxxer.
too real. Rasmus is an anti-vaxxer. But just
No.
just on the basis of he's too poor to get vaccinated, not like
Yeah.
to actually, So, as you start running along the Crow's Edge, and if you look, the Crow's Edge is actually a series of long bridges that span over the water, all the way out to this little remote island of little farming homes and cottages, and basically, each bridge is roughly a little less than a mile. So to get there, it'll take you about an hour. If you guys are booking it, you'll probably get there, which I assume you are. You'll probably get there just as the sun is meeting the horizon. So you should be able to make it in time. So you guys are feet to bricks. Who had the box, the special box?
Sweet.
As you are running, you make it to that last stretch of the Crow's Edge. It's just spanning over open water. You see a couple ships pass underneath the bridge. Very few people make this journey because, frankly, most people are too lazy to make the journey, which is why they get you to do it. And by the time you make it to that last stretch of the Crow's Edge, you see these warm-looking cottages, smoke coming out of the chimneys, a bit of gardens and crops all around these little houses. The moment you start to see it and get closer, you see a guard carrying one of those boomsticks, a lantern at his side, wearing armor and a helmet. And as you are running up toward him, you see him start to hold up a hand. Hey, slow down there. Kids.
Can't get caught. I gotta get this. And I run past him.
Mister, I'm hungry and I don't respect authority.
I just mumble some 6-year-old shit and then I run past him. I don't even
Why
remember
are
what the
you
lady's
up?
name is that I'm supposed to be.
yeah. Why are you up? If
Uh,
a cat wore a cowboy hat, would it say meowdy?
So
It's a guy.
Put
It's a guy on
cowboy hat on a
TikTok. I'll
bee,
send
would
it to you.
say
later.
Beehaw?
I'll send it to you later.
Let's see here. We've got Cathara, you keep running. Rasmus,
Yep.
you keep running. Jude,
How does the guard react as the two of them run by?
he looks at you, like ready to see, because assuming you're about to break and run, but he's definitely looking over his shoulder like he's about to run and chase after them.
I want to as he turns to look to chase after them, I want to try and pants him and then run away.
Would you consider this part of Jude's you know, his shtick, his occupation, his thing.
I mean, he's kind of a rapscallion,
A little dirty
fella.
fighter sometimes.
Classy
Yeah.
dude.
Alright, so
Yeah.
go ahead and roll
God.
2 of your d6s.
Oh my god.
That's a 6.
So
You like pants him?
I would like the heart, the white boxes with hearts all over.
yes,
them,
you are children, so we will assume everything is G and PG.
There's a censor bar.
There's a clank as his belt buckle smacks into the bricks, and Jude, you make a break for it, and he turns, and whole body armor crashes into the bricks. He gives a classic, oh, shakes his fist.
Turn around.
You meddling kids!
Look at that man's wheelie.
quick, go, we gotta keep going. And I'll just like rush up to meet them and kind of keep us moving off into the
Oh yeah, I don't even
Area.
look back.
You are told, or you were told, probably Jude got the information, for this neighbor, Miss Millie, told you which house was hers, you know, third on the left. It has a little garden. She likes to grow carrots and cabbage. You count the houses, and you notice that the third house on the left, a couple things about it. Unlike all the other cottages, there are no lights on inside, and there's no smoke coming from the chimney. And the garden that you were told to look out for is dead and withered, like it hasn't been taken care of in weeks. There's definitely something off about the house.
I assume that it's the wrong house and keep walking.
Cat, no, it's
What?
it's this
But
one.
there's not a
isn't,
garden.
Isn't it? I thought there used to be a garden.
But there's not one right now, so it's not the one. I keep running.
Well, shoo-wee, this place looks like it's seen better days. I don't judge. I don't have a house. Home ownership is beyond my means.
I'll jog forward to kind of catch up with Cathara. Like, no, they said it's the third one here on the left. 1, 2, 3. It's this one.
But
Yeah,
it
I
said there
count
was a
1,
garden.
1.
Well,
7.
maybe she's not very good at gardening.
Oh,
What?
I guess that's fair.
What comes after 1?
2.
The
then-
rest.
Well, shoot,
then
I didn't
some more.
know that. You crazy
reminds me
schooling
of-
people.
You counting reminds me of the gully dwarves in Dragonlance that are like 2, no more than 2, and there's like 10 people that they're talking about.
Yeah.
How many kobolds are there? Definitely
2.
at least 2, but no more than 2. But definitely 2. There's like
Shoot,
5.
I don't count so good. That's the one job I can't do.
Jude.
the one.
That's okay, Erasmus.
So I turn back around and start walking towards the house. But
assuming that,
I trust Jude more than I trust the guy.
I
so.
assume Jude
whatever
is the
told us.
only one who can read, at least
Even then,
adequately.
it sounded
I know
out
my
loud.
alphabet.
Yeah. You see that there is basically a parcel box where people drop off different goods and things. Everyone has one roughly, but you see that one has been hand built specifically for Miss Millie, since she seems to be on the older side. And you see that her full name, Millicent Davis, is carved into the lid of this sort of drop box for her house.
Is it big enough to fit the box in?
Oh, plenty big enough.
I drop the box in there.
You lift up
Oh.
the lid, and it is full of rotting food.
Oh!
Immediately,
David.
flies and bugs and creepy crawlies
Well,
scurry
who-
about.
Can I roll for
Who
my
left all this?
reaction? Because I want to see if I drop the box in there anyway.
You know what
out
you
of-
can do? So for everyone, we did not really cover this because we just jumped straight into it. Your insanity, your sanity score starts at 1.
Oh, okay, good.
And whenever you roll your, when you see something disturbing, you'll roll an insanity die, and if you get higher than your score, you will add 1 to your score and role play out what happens. So as it gets higher, it will be harder to go insane, but if you do happen to go insane, then it's bad news bears.
I'm confused. If we don't roll higher, we don't role play it out?
If you roll excuse me, if you roll less than your score, then you keep it together. As the rules say. Yeah.
Okay.
But rolling higher, you role play out the kind of fear and whatever happens. So,
Okay.
Rachel, you will roll your insanity die, and if you roll higher than a 1,
Do I roll my sanity die, or is that just a tracker? Can I roll a different one?
you can use a die to track it, or you can just keep a number tracker wherever you're taking notes.
But I'll roll it too. I'll roll it and track it. Ha! I rolled a 6, baby.
So your sanity goes up to 2.
Mort. Okay.
Sanity goes up to 2.
Dose.
Yep. And
Deuce?
what happens? What is this fear that takes over cats as all these creepy crawly bugs roll
Oh,
inside
so
this
if
little
I roll
cat?
higher, then I freak out?
Yes.
Oh, so
Yeah, you want to roll lower than your
okay.
insanity.
Good thing I rolled as high as you
As
can
high as
possibly
possible.
roll.
Yeah.
So I scream and I like shove the lid of the Dropbox back. I'm imagining it like opening like from the top, like a
Yeah.
dryer,
Yes.
or a washer or whatever. And I like just try to shove everything away from me as far as possible, which means that the box goes in there as well and then I like just run, and I like kind of run around the corner or something. I try to run away. Still screaming, but the box goes in the thing, and I assume the lid like flops down on top
What
of
are
it.
you screaming at? I want to see. I want to open it too.
And it is full of roaches
Oh, you can't hear my scream because my
and
mic didn't pick
bugs and flies and maggots.
But is there food?
Yes.
I reach
Like
in and
rotten
grab some
food.
food. I grab
It's
some food.
covered and filled with maggots.
I pick out the maggots and I take a bite.
of the maggots.
It's pretty
I eat
old.
the maggots.
It's not the worst thing I've ever eaten. I didn't know I'd get a snack today.
I look
This is a good day.
to Rasmus as he's eating garbage, and I will say, "Grab the box." And I'll turn back over and I'll race over to find Cathara, who's like.
I thought we were supposed to take it. I thought it was
Controller.
I thought
Can I
it was
roll to
supposed to
hide?
go.
I'll call back as I'm looking. We won't get fed if we don't bring it inside to her.
But it is inside.
The box. It's inside the box.
And I got fed.
I already ate. I don't know what you're talking about.
90% of the time, I have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about.
Ignorance is bliss.
Oh, can I roll to hide from everything?
Go ahead and make you're kind of a string bean.
I'm used to rolling for everything, so I don't know how to
you're
just role play.
because this will kind of help determine a little bit of things. You're a string bean, but you're kind of sportsy, so you probably I would just say roll your normal just 1d6 human die capability die.
Human.
Yeah, what's my other die?
Your
2.
human.
Occupation
2.
die.
2.
Um,
I succeed just okay, I guess.
yeah, just
right?
just okay. You find like someone's overturned canoe to like squat behind, so you can kind of
Oh.
Jude, as you turn around, you can still see the top of Cat's head poking up over it. So it's
Whole ass canoe.
yeah,
Ass canoe.
ass canoe.
I'll like kind of sneak over till I'm like also behind the canoe, and I'll like crouch down next to Kat before she like super duper notices, and then I'll like,
Oh.
see anything?
Oh my god. You scared the shit out of me.
I'm sorry, you kind of freaked me out too back there. Are you
That was
okay?
scary. There's a bunch of it's like alive in there.
Well, did you get any of it on you?
Did I get any of it on me? I don't think I did.
No, you didn't.
I don't think so.
See, you're okay. We won't open the box anymore.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
You promise?
Promise.
Okay. Pinky swear?
I pinky swear.
Don't break a pinky swear. Don't do it if you're not gonna do it.
I won't. I won't open the box.
Okay. Pinky swear. We
Um,
walk back over.
you pinky swear, and Jude, you will roll your sanity die for me.
Oh fuck.
It's not actually because
My pinky turns into a tiny tentacle.
That's a 1. Jeez.
So you didn't roll higher.
Oh, I'm still getting used to the.
There's
Oh.
there's a moment where as you turn to walk back over and Cat runs off ahead of you, you see through one of the lower windows of Miss Millie's house. And yeah, it's kind of an old little rundown shack. The neighbors have done their best to keep it up, but things are still a little dirty and broken. And with the setting sun, there's a lot of shadows and dim light everywhere. And just for a brief second, you see a silhouette of someone in the window, facing you, watching you. But then you take one step, and it was just a trick of the shadow being cast from the neighboring building. It created this weird kind of ripple effect on the window that made it look like a silhouette.
Okay. Whew. All right. Rasmus, are you done snacking?
I mean,
Ew,
I could
you
always.
ate it?
I gotta be honest, it was not as bad as you thought it would be. I promise it was actually pretty tasty, but also I haven't eaten in a while, so I guess you could say that it doesn't really matter to me. I am not a gourmand.
What's the worst thing you've ever eaten?
I don't know what that means.
What's
worst
worse
thing
than
I've ever-
that?
I'd rather not say.
What is it?
I plead the fifth.
What's the fifth? What is that?
I don't
Fifth
know.
of what?
I can't count that high. Leave me alone. Stop
So
bullying me.
Is the mailbox with the box in it right now?
Yeah. Didn't you say for Erasmus to get it out?
I did. Did he?
Oh.
I'll get it. Yeah, I'll get it. I haven't had a
Okay.
chance yet. I'll get it.
Okay.
One
I was letting you
single
guys do your thing.
bug crawling across the lid of it.
Hello, Mr. Bug.
I'll pull Malachi out of my pocket and let him eat the bug.
I look at Malachi and I
Put him
go,
on my head.
I lick my lips.
No.
My eyes on you.
I'm sorry.
Jesus
Come on.
Christ.
Let's take it to the
Imagine
door.
a 7-year-old with Kermit's voice. Can't get over.
I think that the origin of this is we watched the episode of Futurama a couple of days ago where Fry goes back in time and fucks his grandma, and his grandmother's or his grandfather's voice sounds
Yeah.
like I'm talking right now.
It does.
Wow. I've never watched any episode of Futurama, so
It's
that is.
Out of context, that sounds really
It's a
weird,
good
but that's
I feel
that's
like
par
in
for the
context
course.
it would also be pretty weird.
Yeah,
It's
it was
very
meant to
funny.
be.
it's a
It's very
touchstone,
funny.
honestly, though.
It's a good show.
I need to point out Nobushi's remarks of he said taking bets on who'll be the first orphan to cry, and then almost immediately Rachel. That happened. That's like OMG.
Classic. Classic.
Oh, hilarious.
If something traumatic happens, you're just gonna hear a dial-up noise, and I'm gonna be like, I don't know what's going on. I'm not emotionally mature enough to process trauma.
Yes.
Yikes.
Correct.
Yikes.
So box in hand, you said you were gonna go check the door.
Yeah, I'll like have the two of them kind of flank me, and I'll make my way up to the front door and give a nice knock at the door. Miss Millie?
Hello, we got a box for you.
You've got
Miss
mail.
Millie, we've got a package from Captain. I don't remember his name.
Montague.
French name. Yeah, he had a
Montague.
Montague.
How do you know what French is. You can't count.
Well, you know what
I'm sorry.
French is.
I have. Okay,
You know what
excuse me.
French is? You can't count.
I have worldly knowledge.
I don't know what world it is you're
Oh,
going
do you
to.
know what French is?
Sheesh.
um,
Sheesh.
there's a couple.
Any
Oh,
response?
There's a couple
sheesh.
beats of silence, but then the doorknob turns back and forth as if someone's about to open the door,
Back and forth.
and then stops.
I look. I open. Was it like a mailbox?
No,
that
this is
we
the
were in
front
the-
door.
Okay, the front door. I was making sure.
Oh.
I open the mail slot and I put look through and I go hello.
You flip open, and there's no one behind the door, and it's completely dark inside.
Is it still moving?
No.
You guys
I
got
try
a
the handle.
candle?
Is it
I would
unlocked?
Candle? Or some kind of lantern?
You try the door, and just roll a d6 for me.
I think maybe she's just not home. Maybe we should just take it back. To
It
the
is
captain.
unlocked.
I open the door and let it swing open on its own creaky hinges.
Classic horror movie shot. You guys silhouetted in the door by the
Lightning.
sunset, and yeah, classic. Beyond
Shoo.
the threshold. We're about to say shooey.
Sure it's getting dark outside.
Yes,
Chewy should be a quote.
The
Can we
sun
make that a quote?
continually going down.
You're a
as
moderator. You can do
the
it. You can make it
doors-
I
happen.
don't have the stream pulled up.
the
I'll
door
do it.
swings open to reveal sort of the combination living room kitchen area.
There's still moldy food there.
It looks unkempt. There are dirty dishes out, some stale bread still sitting out, potatoes that have grown roots sitting in a box in the corner. And again, everything's fairly dark. The blinds are mostly closed. And you can see that there is a staircase that leads upstairs. There is a small, skinny door, like kind of underneath the staircase, presumably some kind of like water closet or a little bathroom or something. And then another door leading to a connecting room downstairs as well. But no sign of Miss Millie.
I don't see hide no hair, Miss Millie.
Hello? The
Excuse me, ma'am. We have entered the premises.
How do you
God,
know
you
what that
come up with a
what is
lot of
that
really
word?
big words.
I just repeat what I hear. I can't read, but I know some nice words. I don't know what they mean. I just remember the context in which they were used.
Another
Yeah,
big
okay.
word. Good job, buddy.
I have heard the entirety of Shakespeare recited to me, but I cannot read it.
Does that mean Shakespeare's canon now?
Yep.
Of
As
course,
is
Shakespeare's
France.
canon.
France and Shakespeare. All canon.
I enjoy destroying the continuity of this world.
I want to. Once over in the room again, there's nothing really here but like a mess of someone who hasn't been home in a long time. I want to walk over to. You said there was a door that led to like an adjacent room.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna just like kind of press my ear against the door and see if I hear anything.
You hear
Are we still out in the street?
I'm
No,
not
we're
anymore.
You're in like the
We're
living
inside.
area, the main
Oh, okay.
main room. Unless you want to stay outside and watch from
I'll
a
probably
distance.
stand in the doorway until I lose sight of them, and then I'll walk in.
Yeah, you have sight. You see Jude pressing his ear against the door, and Jude, you hear a
Rap?
groan almost, like this kind of strained choke of someone trying to speak or call out.
I think there's someone taking a duty in there.
Miss Millie, and I'll like try the door handle
Yep,
and try
and
and go
it-
through the door.
It opens, swings forward, and you walk into Miss Millie's bedroom. It's classic old lady stuff. Floral patterns, doilies,
Mothballs.
mothballs, and Miss Millie laying on the bed in the sort of dim light of dusk.
Werther's originals.
You see, Jacob, do you follow him in there?
I will take Cat by the hand, and I'm like, come on, we gotta all stick together.
If he goes in the room, if Jude goes in the room and I lose sight of him, then I will go in.
Okay.
But I will leave the door open
Well,
behind me.
here's the thing. There's that
Uh-oh.
brief moment where Jude is by himself at the entrance to the room. And Jude, what you see of Miss Millie laying on the bed in her nightgown, her skin has almost taken on this blue, greenish, gray hue. It's on her body is almost swollen in some places, like her gut and chest are almost distended and like pressed out and swollen, and her eyes are wide open and almost reflecting whatever dim light is in here, making them almost glow in the dusk. And her mouth is wide open, letting out this sort of choked sound. Bradley, go ahead and roll your sanity die for me.
Yeah,
Ew, God.
You're like, yeah.
that's a 4.
So that will take your score up to 2, and go ahead and role play what happens, what Jude does.
I don't think I'm holding anything, so I don't have anything to drop. I will just like stand there like deer in the headlights, kind of shell shocked for a moment, just kind of staring, very unsure as to what to do. Probably hasn't seen like a dead body before, but looking at this is like, this is a dead body. This is what a dead body looks like. That's, I guess, what the sounds dead bodies make. This woman is dead. And I will just like take that extra few minutes until I hear the two of them kind of making their way towards me, like the creaking of the wood kind of bringing me back to it. And I'm gonna turn back
Dude.
around and close the door. Like,
I sure hope there's
go-
nothing scary in here.
We're gonna
Wait,
go back
close-
outside now. Close the
about-
door to the bedroom.
Okay, I thought you meant close yourself in there with her. I was like,
No.
what
Did
the
you,
fuck?
I
Did
need
you
to
find
touch this
some?
dead body.
You
That
find
would be a
something?
Bradley
Did
thing.
you find her? Is she taking a
Miss
nap?
Millie in there?
Yes. We need to go find her some help. Let's leave the box here, and I'll kind of take it from
What's
Rasmus's
wrong?
hands and kind of set it there. I don't think she's okay. Let's go to the neighbors and get some
as
help.
you are talking them through this, my mic isn't going to pick it up, but Rachel will hear it from the other room, and that's really all that matters.
Can you describe it in detail, Rachel? Whatever
Sure,
he's
I'll
about
try.
to do.
That choked kind of groaning sound gets louder and louder until it is a full-blown shrieking scream coming from Miss Millie's bedroom.
I can kind
I
of hear it
hated
through.
that.
Yeah.
I kinda hear
It sounded
it
like
through Rachel.
like
That was
a
funny.
gear getting stuck on something.
Yes,
yeah.
it
Oh,
is-
that was
It is
horrible.
raspy and hoarse and just filled with pain. And then, amid the scream, you hear a thud of feet hitting
Fuck
the
that
floor.
noise. Oh, I
we're
thought it was a
leaving.
heartbeat.
we're
but
leaving.
still.
That's worse.
What? Can I do like something?
Other than running away and screaming?
I as a man of mostly just living on the streets,
You mean a 7-year-old?
A child?
a street child. Does Jude have like the look on his face like he's just seen something traumatic?
Yes.
Okay, I am stupid, but I'm not dumb. So
as I hear a noise, can I look around the room and just try to grab something weighty? And since I am kind of strong, just push something in front of the door before we run like the scared children we are.
Absolutely, you can do that. And for the sake
And
of,
pull a side table down behind us as we run away.
yes, flipping shit over, slamming the door behind you, you make a run for it. And if Jacob and
Sorry,
Rachel,
Miss Millie.
if Jacob and Rachel will go ahead and roll their sanity die, if you roll higher than your score,
Yep.
something happens. You did?
I rolled a 3, and my score is 2. So now
I
my score is
rolled-
3.
I rolled a 5.
So
So
both
I
of you
go up
increase
2.
your score by 1, and then we'll roleplay the fear a little bit differently, because this is one of those times where we will time jump a little bit.
Whoa. I didn't know there were time jumps.
Yes. Over the next few months, next few years, more stories, more cases of a sickness, a plague, a disease called the Shriek starts to hit people
Mm-mm.
around the Eggfeld Isles, earning its name because of the final sounds people make before they completely die. And it's not often you remember that day or think about it, but occasionally you're running odd jobs, you're making deliveries, you're working on the deck of a ship, and you're on your way back to the orphanage, and you'll hear a scream, shriek, bellow from a nearby building, nearby home. And so, Jacob and Rachel, what is, over the next few weeks and months, what is your character's response to these kinds of instances?
If I'm near literally anything that can be pulled over and like toppled over, I topple it over and run away.
Bolt.
Yeah. Like
I-
a stack
I-
of boxes,
I
toppled, a table.
I
Anything.
think that's really funny, so I want to do that too. That's hilarious. Just, and I imagine if we're both in the same place, we both just grab something. Just,
We lock eyes and we're
Yep.
like,
And Jude, you start seeing posters about a mad tipper tossing over all sorts of outdoor furniture.
It's the Mad Toppler.
But that's where we will pause for a brief second, and what we will do, there's a mechanic in part of this about lowering your insanity score if you so wish. Because in Call of Cthulhu fashion, the higher your insanity, and also Shadow of Driftchapel, the more you have been exposed to, the more you sort of might be distrustful of the world, and the more paranoid you might be. So if you wish, you can attempt to lower your sanity score to sort of regain a bit of your innocence, as it were. Or you can keep it as it is. It's only a chance to lower it, but it's up to you whether or not, or throughout this sort of time skip, if you would like to do that.
how would we do that? Do we
You
just
would do
roll?
that. You would roll your insanity die, and if you roll less than your current sanity score, you will lower your sanity by 1.
We'll leave mine as it is. I think Jude
Right.
in this moment is like trying to be an adult as fast as possible. So he's gonna try and like ignore that kitty shit.
did you see? So you said if you roll your sanity score lower, it goes back down. you said?
Lower than your current sanity.
Okay, I got exactly my crazy.
Then it stays the same.
I'm not gonna roll. I'm a child.
Child.
I'm not emotionally intelligent enough to. Well, I don't know. I'm a child. I also have a shit memory. I'll roll.
I was about to say,
and,
my-
and I will
my-
decide.
Roll to see if
my
you roll.
roll was
Yeah,
my roll was purely I'm so stupid. Maybe I forgot.
I rolled a 3 and my sanity's 3. So no.
And then finally, in this little break moment, we're going to skip ahead about 5 years. So, Jude, you'll be 17 years old.
Shit.
Weird age.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the other two will be 12 and 11 years old, an even weirder age.
Definitely weird for a 17-year-old to like be buddies with an 11 and 12-year-old.
But
But
you
we're
know,
probably just like your little siblings,
yeah,
as always.
and
Yeah.
you know, as far as orphans go, it's not like there's a billion of you, so you know, it's just kind of the rest might be in church right now. Who wants to hang out with them?
Fucking nerds.
Fucking nerds. So go ahead and sort of think about it, brainstorm what kind of stuff your older version of your character would get into, the kind of hobbies they might have, the people they'd interact with, the jobs they would work as. They're still a deck rat. It's sort of a name that's stuck. The kind of jobs they take on, and all sorts of stuff like that. So just age up your characters a little bit. And I'm gonna go toilet cat.
I'm gonna go toilet
Yeah,
cat
are
too.
we- I was gonna
Alrighty,
say,
then we'll
can we
just
do
take a
break?
full-fledged break here.
Silly
I tried to be
Cthulhu horror
teenagers.
game.
Alright, left. I didn't give you a countdown, but it's fine.
Oh, okay, great.
So
7.
7, 3, 5.
Hello?
Hello?
Are we there?
Smolf?
There's your
That's
yes.
the name.
Smolf.
Oh, jeez. Nobushi Nueve, please give us a better name than Smolf.
Smolf?
I
Wait,
can
what is
go
that the name
Smolf.
of?
I need an
Like
NPC
us?
last name.
Oh.
Oh, I can
So
come up with a better
on
one. I can come up with a better one.
No.
Broomhilda. It's a classic.
Broomhilda.
No. Broomhilda. You have to
Uh,
put the horrible,
Bloom.
horrible. floating
um,
thing in
Get
there.
fine.
that umlaut.
Holding.
Doral.
Okay.
Dorrell.
Yeah,
So-
Doral.
Dorl.
Yeah.
Dorel.
Dorel.
Doral.
So, 5 years in the future, I'm gonna give you guys a little. Here's what's happening in the time being. Besides people succumbing to a disease that has been called the Shriek, Dorandport, where you guys get most of your work, has kind of gone a bit chaotic in recent years. The Crown and the Barony of Strand have relinquished their control over the Eggfeld Isles. So very quickly, everything went crazy. There was no law and order anymore. The Crown Guard left, and a black market popped up, and all sorts of stuff. It just went worse for wear. But recently, a new leader has taken their place. Most people call her Lady Whitehand, because most people know that she has criminal ties and ties to black markets and things like that. But
Why don't?
what?
Why do they call her White Hand?
Because
He's
it's a
getting
joke
that.
because her hands are dirty, and so they're
Oh.
sarcastically.
I'm
calling her
sorry,
white
irony
hands.
is lost on me.
And she like, as people were losing their hope and trying to abandon Eggfeld Isles, she's kind of tied the people together with like a thin thread and a bit of hope. But the most notable thing is, if you tend to Owlbear Rodeo,
I didn't.
you are looking at what I refer to as the Generation 1 map. Over the past 5 years, something has happened. You may notice, in the bottom right-hand corner of the map, there's a bit of darkness out at sea. That darkness has continued to get closer and closer and closer until eventually the many, many bridges that the three of you walked so many years ago collapsed into the sea, and the people out at that island were taken by the Gloam. Now, Crow's Edge is nothing more but ruins and monsters. So the rumors go.
I can't see
I like that
anything.
weird black pimple on the Crow's Edge Island.
Yes, that was the hill that they were all set up around.
Oh, okay.
Jay,
Yeah,
you
you
can-
Something.
I do kind of want to pop it though.
Huh.
I'll show the map on the stream and show that sweet Gloam pimple that Bradley wants to pop. Yeah, I'm also having a little bit of difficulties with
Band name Gloam Pimple.
Gloam pimple.
Could you change your name in Owlbear?
Yeah.
Whoa!
I didn't know
You gotta
that.
pick the pencil thing. Yeah.
Do what?
In the bottom left.
Yeah.
Huh.
Well, the map isn't loading, so sorry everybody. Oh, there it is. I was going to keep it up until it did. So Crow's Edge now descended into darkness, eaten by the
Darkness.
Gloam. Darkness.
The Gloam.
The Gloam.
So-
I mean, yeah, that's the campaign.
Are you telling me Shadows Over Driftchapel was in Kingdom Hearts this whole time?
Yep.
God damn it.
Yeah, I'm
Uh,
actually
like
been Donald
everything is
Duck the
Kingdom
entire
Hearts.
Little duck Kamin's walking around with no pants on.
time.
To read the description of it, the stone bridge that once spanned the egg-filled isles connecting the island settlements, now the bridge is mostly collapsed, submerged and jutting upwards like macabre crab legs emerging from the sea. Rumors speak of terrible monsters that prowl the bridge, ruins for easy prey in the name of some profane master. Which Kamin will eventually learn. It's caught.
I don't know what we're talking about right now.
But, in the meantime, the deck rats. They return to Doranport for a day of work, and more or less by design as part of the DM, but, you know, maybe for you guys, just a bit of a coinky-dink. As the sun's beginning to set, and you notice will soon be lights out where you have your guaranteed bed for the night at the orphanage, Mr. Montague, Captain Montague, pulls you off to the side for a quick job before you head out for the evening. You see, it's been 5 years. He's a bit older now. It's been bags under his eyes a little bit. He has a bit of salt and pepper, a bit fuller beard. His gut has slimmed down a little bit, courtesy of Mrs.
Not
Clara
having food.
Montague. Getting in shape. He's not drinking coffee anymore. He switched to tea. But he has requests now for the teenage deck rats. He says that a member of his crew named Jonas Turner, who you're familiar with somewhat, you may have worked a couple odd jobs with him because that's what he was famous for, is jumping from job to job to job to job, never doing the same thing twice. But apparently he's become a crew member aboard the Crow's Feather. And he said that Jonas said that he was going to head over to Rook's Gate, the temple, before their journey, saying that he found the gods on the last journey. He wanted to pay respects before they ship out the next day. But he hasn't come back, and you know, once night falls in Doranport, the parties start happening, people start drinking, then they go to sleep, and then they're shipping out early the next morning. So he wants to make sure that Jonas Turner is with him and the rest of the crew. Otherwise, there's a good chance he won't be there the next morning, knowing how he jumps from jobs to jobs. So basically, he's paying you 1 silver piece each to go speak to Jonas at the temple and say, hey, you need to head back. Just check on him, make sure that he's not quitting and leaving the crew, so they don't have to fill in for him last minute. Any questions?
Wait, where is he?
At the temple Rook's Gate, the south side of the Eggfell Isles.
Well, shoo-wee, I've never had a silver piece before.
Oh,
He
that's
gave
a
us
that's a
silver
good.
piece?
He's going to pay you a silver piece.
Oh.
But that brings up a
Silver gun.
silver
a
gun.
piece.
A good point is that we're 5 years in the future, so you 11 and 12-year-olds are on the cusp of puberty, and Jude, you are on the cusp of adulthood. So, play that how you will.
I think
yeah.
Jude, like at that point in life, has definitely like gotten on board some ships and taken a turn or two, like away from the Eggfed Isles, just working on a ship, doing kind of the same tasks but while sailing.
Yeah.
So probably similar to what Jonas has done, just like jumping between different odd jobs aboard different vessels, kind of getting what money they can from it. Probably outgrown the orphanage at this point. We're probably getting drunk at the tavern and crashing wherever we can find a flat enough space to lie down.
Sure. So,
I mean, sure, we can go see if we can talk to him. Sure, let's do it.
paid in advance, right, Monty?
Half in advance.
That'll do.
So he gives you 5 copper, and you head out on your way. A simple job, like most of them are. Do this, find this, go run and do that. So you head to the southern of Eggfeld Isles. You hop on a little skiff, take you across the water. You walk through. It might be idyllic to some of you. It might be, you know, can't imagine living out here, but you see all these nice little huts out in sort of these jungle woods and live off their own little gardens and these just little oasis away from the actual bustling Doran port. Walk across some bridges, and all of the islands connected by bridges and boats, so it's nothing too crazy and out of the ordinary. But you head over to Rook's Gate. And I'll go ahead and ask for the other two, for Rasmus and Kat. At 11 and 12 years old, would you continually go back to the orphanage to stay for the night, or would you have tried to find boarding elsewhere now that you're a little bit older, making your own money, things like that?
I would probably be out, like, I would probably more so be sleeping on the street, just wherever I can. Kind of taking the job of just kind of like we're doing now, just being an errand boy, but just doing like whatever people will pay him to do that a kid can do, you know?
I will follow Rasmus around.
So whatever he does, you do. He's a
Yeah,
year
I'm
older,
not
he's
much of a leader.
wiser.
I don't make a lot of my own decisions.
That's fair. I don't know of many 11-year-olds that are leaders.
I rolled that my
Come to school sometime, dude.
when I was initially when I was 6, I rolled that my interests were like sports, and then I rolled again, and I got sleeping as my interest.
Yeah, that tracks.
And then
I sure
the-
do love sleeping.
The first time I rolled, I got a personality as like timid, meek, and shy. And this time I got thoughtful, a daydreamer, and a bit loony. So
A bit
loony.
I think it's a good thing my sanity did not go down at all.
A bit loony.
So I just follow Rasmus and Jude with whatever they're doing.
Yes. So it's maybe been a couple months, or even maybe a couple of years since you've actually been to the orphanage and Rook's Gate and that whole island of Rook's Gate. It's not quite like you remember, but it's not necessarily unexpected given the circumstances of the world. As the Gloam has encroached in places, people have lost faith in the gods, and some people believe that losing faith in the gods is what has caused the Gloam. Some people believe the Gloam is the gods, and it's very divisive. And so for this temple, which is devoted to the Creed, the pantheon of the gods, it's a bit sparse in attendance. There aren't many priests walking around taking care of things. The fountain in the center has gotten dirty and muck-filled and with algae, and even people just feeding it and putting stuff in the fountain. The orphanage itself, it's not necessarily run down, but it's less maintained than it was. There are children just running around with no adult supervision, running around in the yard and playing with each other. Whereas you're free to go in the church, but even just walking around, there aren't many priests walking about and people actually tending to the church itself. So faith is fairly rare in these parts. But you were told this is where Jonas Turner was.
And we would know Jonas well enough that we'd recognize him if we saw him. Right?
Yeah, you'd be able to notice him.
So
Jonas!
first glance, don't see him or doesn't respond to a call.
Correct. Does not respond to a call.
I'll just kind of judging the area, looking around, not seeing him or an adult that I think would actually be able to help us. I go in towards the church because that's where we were told he would be.
Do you think he's sitting on the rafters?
I don't know. Maybe.
Seems like a cool thing to do, you know?
Hello,
See
were
from
you up there?
Jonas!
There was something so creepy about
Oh,
that
was super
question.
creepy. That was...
Do you think he's sitting in the like that was
Do you think he swings from the rafters?
phenomenally creepy?
I feel like every time I've played something horror related lately in like a TTRPG, I'm like, my first question anytime I go places is like, I look up.
Yeah.
Fair.
Oh.
There's nothing in the rafters. Brooding teen inquiry. So there's sort of the church is fairly open. The temple is fairly open. You walk into sort of the entryway. There are columns. There's a little staircase that leads down to basically a little garden outdoor area. But then it opens up into the main hall, main sanctuary. There's statues of the different gods of the creed everywhere that have some fallen to ruin. A couple arms snapped off. A couple heads that have fallen to the ground. And then doors leading off to all the different chambers of the temple. And the temple is strangely empty, except for one priest. You see this one person in robes walking about, hood mostly up. They stop, and you see that it's a woman's darker skin, dark hair, kind of sunken eyes. Looks up and completely filled with surprise and says, "Oh, welcome to the. Sorry, we haven't had visitors in some time. My name is Enola Lamb, or priestess here. What brings you out this far?"
I'm looking for a fellow that supposedly came by and was given some rites before taking off to sea. Jonas?
Jonas. No. I have not seen a Jonas yet. I've been on the floor of the chapel for the past few days, so I have not come across a Jonas. No.
I'll give it like a poor description of what he looks like. No,
Well,
nothing.
he's a person.
She kind of chuckles and says, "Well, you described half the people of Doran Port, but I can't say I've seen any of them come through recently."
I'm just curious, who was the last person you saw come through here?
Let's see. There was a woman who was going to be giving birth soon, who came through a few days ago. We had a priest that came out and visited from the Strand. A few days before that. Go ahead, Jude, and roll 2 of your dice for me. And if you wish, you could roll your sanity die to really push it, but risk it for the biscuit.
Why not? I rolled a 2, but I also rolled a 6. Hang on. The 2 was for my sanity, which I believe is my sanity right now. Is that a success?
The sanity thing is if your sanity die rolls the highest, then you succumb to sanity stuff. If your sanity die isn't the highest, then
my
you're
sanity
fine.
die was not the highest.
you're fine.
I rolled a 6.
6. She's not telling you everything you want to know. You can see that speaking the name Jonas, it definitely rang a bit familiar in the way that she responded. She definitely didn't respond with any kind of confusion. It was more of like she knew, and then no, I haven't seen him in a little while. Like there was some familiarity to it. So she has seen Jonas and knows who Jonas is, but is lying to you.
So I'm trying to think out how I would go through this as Kamin, but then I have to remember I'm a 17-year-old who likely
Be
does
bold.
not have the wherewithal to have tact. So I will just come out and say it. So you say you don't know Jonas at all, right?
No, I'm afraid I don't.
Why don't I believe you?
That seems like a question for yourself.
Seems more directed towards you since you're the one spinning fables right now.
I am a devout worshiper of the Creed, and I would have no reason to lie about anyone that has come in through our temple, especially in these trying times. I would give everyone who devotes himself to the faith the time of day and my own time.
Does the faith like it when you lie?
I don't know who you are or what you want with this
Oh, hey,
Jonas,
my name
but
is Rasmus.
Nice to meet you. Wait, the Rasmus from the orphanage?
Yeah, that's me. I
You
don't
ate-
live there no more,
you ate
though.
bugs. A lot.
Still
right?
does, I think.
Well, at least I'm not a liar. I'd rather eat bugs than be a stinky liar.
I'd never lie about eating no bugs.
Oh my god.
Well, at least I'm not a liar. That was very good.
Well, you tell Jonas and whatever creed you still believe in that he's expected on this vessel, the Feather, in the morning before his shift at work. Be there or don't. If he shows up, I get paid the rest of the way. If he doesn't, I've got a job. And I'll turn and make my way back out.
Yeah, and she kind of snickers a little more and she's like, oh, of course it was about the money. It's all about
It's the only thing that's real in this world, honey.
the money. Honey,
He's saying that your God's not
What?
real.
What a 17-year-old thing to say to a grown
right,
woman.
a grown
Honey.
woman. Honey. So I'm gonna throw a little map up on the screen because it's a little hard for me to describe because we've been playing for a little while and I'm tired and I have to pee a little bit.
That's fair.
Okay.
So shout out to Dyson's Logos for their amazing maps. So you guys came in from. Oh, I'm also purple. Let me do yellow. So you guys came in from this sort of south side, walked through this sort of entryway, and up into this middle sanctuary where you spoke to the priestess Lamb. On your way out,
Can I say something?
yeah,
Jude, as you turn to leave, you see me in a pew, just like swinging my legs, reading through whatever book of, I don't know, songs or whatever that they have. And I tell you that I was just checking to see if Jonas wrote in the book. And I was just turning pages and reading. So you have to grab me because I'm not paying attention. Yeah, did Jonas write in any of these books?
he did not write in any of these books. However, on your way out, Kat, as you walk through this main entryway, probably get a little sidetracked with one of the statues. There's this sort of outdoor grassy dirt area. Almost
Can
like a
you
little-
make your thing not
that.
yellow? Because I can't see it.
I'm gonna do red.
Yeah, there you go.
This area over here.
Yeah.
You glance over, and this dirt path here has drag marks cutting through the dirt. And you
Hey,
see
you guys.
in the
Oh,
bushes at the end of the path a boot.
I found Jonas.
Hmm?
I found Jonas
Found him where?
over there. I walk over.
That's not Jonas. That's a boot.
What if it is Jonas? I'm pretty sure it's Jonas.
It's a sailor's boot.
I'm pretty sure it's Jonas.
Well,
Are
the
they nice
plot
boots?
thickens.
Is it a
It's-
nice boot?
It's a decent boot. Decent boot.
I'm gonna get that boot.
I
that
imagine he
boot.
probably just like was sleeping over there.
And the drag marks continue and up the stairs around the corner.
I don't know why he felt like he needed to crawl there, but you know,
I'd-
when you're sleepy.
Sometimes if you're really sleepy, you just be crawling all over the place.
Yeah,
And
so
sometimes when you're dead or dying, you get dragged places so people don't find the body. As I pick up
Yeah,
the
that
boot and
happens
inspect
too.
it.
I walk up the stairs
You walk up
to
the
wherever the
stairs,
drag marks
and
went.
there's a wall there with two statues positioned in the grass. They're worn down. They have some moss growing over the base and a couple of vines that have grown over them. And you notice some words engraved on some of the bricks. In different places, different colored bricks.
Can I read them?
I don't know. Did you learn to read by the time you were 11 years old?
You were reading hymns, so probably.
Oh, that's fair.
Yes. Then
All right.
yes.
Assuming
Well, maybe I was just looking at it.
That's
I'll
fair.
look at it and see if I can read it. How about that?
I'll assume you can read it because
Okay.
because for the
That's
sake
simpler.
of sakes.
Yeah.
And assuming all of you can read somewhat, and you go investigate the wall.
Nope,
you
I
look
can't
at
read at all.
Owlbear Rodeo.
I don't trust words. They steal your thoughts.
You start to notice that some of the bricks are loose, and there are holes where bricks can be replaced.
Oh, that's so cool.
What is that one in the middle? Rag.
That's a great question.
Gar.
It's like the last letter of one word and the beginning of another word. No, because
What?
I don't know.
Tenet of the lies. I just pull all the bricks out.
You can pull all
And
the
I hold
bricks
them in
out.
my arms.
Yeah, so what I will do is if you remove all of the removable bricks,
Whoa. Can we move them?
you should be able to move the... you can only move the dark gray bricks. So if you remove... And the darkened spots, the darkened squares on the actual page, those are the
That's where they
holes
go.
where bricks can be replaced.
Hmm.
And what
Do
I'm going to
not-
do is you guys can attempt to solve it. Every time you want to make a check, you can make a check, and if you succeed, and if you get like higher than at least a 1, I'll give you a hint.
Sure.
Can we flip
Um,
this one?
Seek is like
Oh
the
no, that doesn't make
only
any sense.
verb.
Do
not
I need to
seek
find some
what?
good
Seek.
music.
Eager
lies.
beyond the walls.
The walls
Oh.
of man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hither
Hither
comes.
comes. I assume this is Creed. Or
the
no,
Gloam.
Gloam.
Yeah, I was to say that one's gonna be
Comes the
Gloam.
Gloam.
The Creed of all things.
Final tenet of the creed. Final tenet of the creed.
No, it was Creed first.
Well, I feel like that's right though.
Oh.
I feel like that's not. But that may be Bradley, not. I think it's the final tenet of the Gloam.
Do not seek eager. I think it's do not seek. I think the twilight of all things. What is that? The gar of all things.
Mm-hmm.
The rag of all things.
Maybe it's the final tenet of that word that we don't know.
I'm gonna toilet cat while you figure that out.
I was just about to ask if we could check.
I'll take that as a no. It's not right.
Here comes the.
Boom! Here comes the. No. I think it's the twilight of all things.
Really?
Maybe, I don't know. I'm guessing.
Do not seek.
I
eager-
think the twilight of all things. Yeah. Seek eager.
I think what lies beyond the walls of man is probably right.
Yeah.
Or maybe what lies beyond the creed of man. Do not seek eager walls.
That wall's too eager. I'm not about it.
An eager wall. A glory hole.
No, it's not what that is.
Absolutely not.
All right. I thought I see this is no longer a safe space.
I think seek, lies, walls, and comes is definitely right.
Yeah.
But I think Creed and Gloam could. Creed could go down where Gloam is. Creed could go where Twilight is. And I have no idea what Gar is.
Could we make a check to try and decipher what Gagarg Rag means?
Yes, whoever wants to make a check can make it. You
Can
just
we all do
roll-
it?
You, because what you're dealing with. Let me actually check.
Does it matter if my sanity is a 3?
I'm gonna say
They're
for
pretty
all
similar.
of these, you will roll 2 dice. One will be your normal human capabilities dice. The other one is your sanity dice.
Okay. For all of what?
What happens
For a
if
hint.
what happens if they're all the same number? What if my sanity die is a 2 and I roll 2 2s? Did I win or did I lose?
We'll lean on the side of you not going insane.
So
Cool.
my sanity's a 3, and I rolled a 4 on my sanity die and
That's-
a 5 on my regular
That's
die.
fine. Your regular die rolled higher, as long as your sanity die doesn't roll highest.
Oh, okay. Cool. Well, I rolled a 5.
So we'll start with Kat. You don't remember much from going to Sunday school and all of your normal Bible studies whenever you were at the orphanage.
Mm-hmm.
But this was one that you somewhat remember, is the final tenet of the creed.
Damn it.
Fucking knew it.
Yeah.
There were many tenets of the creed, and this was the final one, and most recent one, sort of at the start of the Gloam encroachment. Is this your final answer?
Sure.
I no.
I think we stare at each of them as we put them in and go,
And with your role, Jude, the final tenet of the creed is do not seek eager what lies beyond the walls of man. Hither comes the gloam, the twilight of all things. That weird brick does not have a place in any of it.
So I take it out. Put it on the ground.
I look at it. Brick.
You look down, and when you look back up, the bricks of the wall have folded inward, revealing not the room that you know is on the other side, but a staircase down into a basement below the chapel, below the temple,
Whoa.
lit by lanterns, torches, and bit of noise echoing up the stairs.
Is this chapel drifting?
Not yet.
Is there shadows here?
There are
Yeah,
definitely
there-
shadows happening.
Oh
Can I
my
take the-
god!
The brick with us?
You look down to pick up the brick, and it's gone.
Oh, the brick ran away.
Maybe what to do
Shoo-wee,
with
that's
its
a
brick
fancy
family.
brick.
Maybe
Brick
it went down the
family.
stairs.
Well, let's find out. And I
Yeah,
head
let's
down
go
the
see if
stairs.
we can find it.
Stepping down the stairs, the worst thing to happen in a horror movie, the brick wall closes up behind you.
Oh.
Well, I don't care for that in the slightest. Not one bit.
So as you descend the
Mhm.
staircase, it's lit by lanterns and torches and candles. There's no question about your next step, but you can hear just a discordant amount of voices. You're grabbing a light
take-
source.
I take a lantern.
Oh, I was like, what?
That's how you grab something.
Is his cat right there? Or
You hear laughing, humming, crying, screaming, singing, all variety of voices doing a variety of things. And then eventually the staircase, you can see the landing, and it opens up seemingly to a room that's also lit by candles and lanterns. Now, I mean every word I say in this next part.
I hate that.
As the room opens up, you see a few things. There's a crowd of people. On one side of the room, there's a shirtless bartender in a turtle mask, wearing baggy pants, preparing drinks by a makeshift bar. On the other side of the room, there's a musician playing a marimba made of bones off to the side and singing along. In the center of the room, there's a statue of a woman, crude, made of clay, but it's undoubtedly Lady Whitehand, as the hands have been painted white. Except she's topless and has eyes for nipples, nipples for eyes, and the top of her head completely missing.
Like they've sculpted a brain or something, or like she just doesn't have the top half of her
It's just
head.
gone. You see the scruffy-faced Jonas sitting in a blood-stained chair at the foot of the statue. You look at the person standing behind him, wearing sort of a blank white face mask with just that stops just at the top of the mouth. But you immediately recognize the hunched visage of Mother Matilda Mouldersnatch. And then you watch as this orphanage director, with her bare hands, rips off Jonas's scalp and his skull cap, flings it to the floor, pulls out his brain with her hands, lifts it over her head, and begins whispering into his skull.
So you know how babies throw up?
Bleh.
They just go bleh. That's what I do right now. I just go
I'm
bleh.
gonna just take a step back and grab both of their shoulders. It's time to go.
And I would like
It's
all
behind
three of you
us.
to roll your insanity die for me. If you roll higher, then it raises your score by 1.
Less.
I
lower.
rolled a 1 somehow.
I rolled a 3.
It's the throwing up. The vomit kept me
You
very
held
lucid.
it
That's me keeping it together.
together.
Only a
I,
bodily response, not an emotional response.
So who
I
rolled
failed.
higher? You failed.
I did, yeah.
So you reach for them, tell them it's time to go. But what is Jude's fear response? What does he do?
Run. Get the fuck out of here. And like I think he's got enough wherewithal not to like stumble and trip and make a scene as he's running away, but like very obviously like we are not supposed to be here.
Yes, you
Save my own skin and preferably theirs if we can manage.
you break it and just run up the stairs. You hear people laughing behind you and calling out saying, "Oh no, don't go, come on," but almost in a comical laughing fashion. Do any of you turn around or look over your shoulder?
Nope.
I do. For sure.
I do.
I do.
You turn around and you see Jonas, missing the top portion of his head and skull and his entire brain, stand up from the chair and start walking toward you and laughing and motioning for you to come back.
That's fucking terrifying.
That ain't right.
You have a shift in the morning, and I run away.
5 copper, baby! And that's where we will skip ahead a little bit.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say that's where we'll
No,
end.
we will skip ahead one
Skip
final
ahead,
time.
skip ahead.
Another 5 years in the
And
future.
that man lost his brain,
that will
so
bring it
now
to
he is dead.
Jude being in his early 20s, and the other two of you being 16 and 17. On the cusp of
Jeez.
adulthood, and Jude in just the thick of adulthood. Arguably the worst part of adulthood.
Arguably the back third of my life in this place.
Now, in the meantime, a few things happen in the Eggfell Isles. Dorand Port descends into just about sadness almost. The Gloam starts to take in, or take more of the world. And I will change the map to now the third generation of the Eggfeld Isles. As the darkness encroaches, fully engulfing Crow's Edge and fully engulfing Rook's Gate.
Yeesh.
In the meantime, what was once now a bustling trade port has turned into the last bastion of civilization and hope in the Eggfeld Isles. It now houses refugees from all over the Eggfeld Isles and people who've washed up on the shore. It's running low on supplies because the mainland isn't coming out here for deliveries. And now not just rumors, now reality, monsters now traipse onto land at night, trying to snatch people or eat people. And every day, the brave sailors who fight back these sea horrors run out of gunpowder and shot and weapons to fight them back with. The people are getting more and more desperate, but it's their home and they don't want to retreat. And that's one way that Lady Whitehand has given people a little bit of hope, but, this doesn't seem to be doing people much good. Now the black market has gotten stronger, people are starting to double-cross each other, people are selling bare necessities for exorbitant prices, and it's looking bad here in the Eggfeld Isle. As far as Rook's Gate goes, now it was once a massive shrine to the Creed, but now it's just graffitied. It's marked with all sorts of evil glyphs and runes and celebrating all sorts of weird, monstrous gods that have been born of the Gloam, one of which being Gar, Garr, a deity of chaos and the dismantling of reality. In that,
Did we ever find that brick?
you never found that brick. But you definitely found his cult.
Yikes.
Any priests that still remain out at Rook's Gate are not themselves anymore and now worship the Gloam and its many masters. But of you three, growing up and living in the streets of Doranport and the Eggfeld Isles, you presumably are some of those people who have refused to retreat and are helping those same desperate people. Now, into your teens and young adulthood, you have a little more important jobs, especially if some people have quit or died or just left or whatever it might be. You've earned some places on ships, and you're basically more of a cog in the machine than you were before. So now, today of all days, a day like any other in the Eggfeld Isles being eaten by the Gloam, Captain Montague reaches out for a job, as he has been
Classic.
for weeks and months. Of course, the past couple years have not been kind to Captain Montague. He is much more worn down and broken than he has been. His wife, Miss Clara Montague, he lost her to the Gloam. And he's put on his pot belly again and started drinking black coffee again and stopped sleeping and looking forward to retirement and whatever that means for him. But he calls you out for sort of a routine job. There's a sunken fishing boat, half of it washed up on the coast. They want to go search for the other half, find any missing, dead, or even living if there's such a thing, and bring them back for a bit of price. So, like any other job, like any other morning, you get your gear, you board the Crow's Feather, and you get ready to head out. Jude,
Mm-hmm.
Montague is acting a bit strange about this job. It's for all intents and purposes, it is a routine job. This is something you've done almost every day for the past many months. But there's something a little different about this one. He's double checking, he's triple checking, he's quadruple checking everything. He's pacing around, he's drinking more coffee than he normally does. He's got something in his craw. And there's just a strange air about it as everyone's getting ready to sail off.
Okay. So to fill in the blank space, the time skip, and I'll pull and read from more of my backstory stuff now.
Do it.
Probably not long after we discovered the cult and Jonas's demise, Jude likely shacked up with Captain Montague for a time before, not long after that, joining the team of salvage divers. This would be like your stereotypical like turn of the century horrible canvas and metal brass suits of diving equipment used to go in and fetch things from the few ships that do come hither to and from the Eggfeld Isles that don't make it. Well, the people of the island still need the goods that were on board these ships. So a specialty team of divers has been kind of put together to go out and kind of venture down into the depths to retrieve this stuff and bring it back out. And at first glance, it's seen as like a very big, important job. It's very much like Heroes About Town, kind of, I'm one of the salvage divers. Oh, like you're doing the town a really big favor.
Yeah.
But it's years of doing this kind of wears away that facade, where in reality it's a very tough job. You see a lot of crazy things down there, and the good money you do get paid usually gets spent on drugs and alcohol when you get to port, just to kind of put yourself to sleep at night. So Jude doesn't look super great, probably a bit more sunken in face and a little just thinned out compared to what he used to be, though probably still put on some muscle just from nature of the job, but not like in a healthy way. But probably having worked jobs like this for Captain Montague before, I'll have like the full diver suit and everything else ready to go.
And what about the other two? Cat. What happens to Cat as she reaches or as they reach their teen years and the islands fall apart?
She rose up real fast, and by that I mean she essentially takes on like a evil alignment and is very selfish. She begins to like also pull pranks on people by stealing from them and like thinking it's funny. At least to her, she gets a kick out of it. Oh, is there a hydrate reminder?
Thanks, Emily.
And she uses her wits that she supposedly has to talk her way out of things and to like make fun of people in the way that it hurts, So she makes her living. She scrapes by, mostly stealing from wherever she can steal from. So she still has a mullet though, but she looks really hot.
It's a hot mullet, sure.
She's probably a lesbian. Most likely.
Okay. Jacob,
All the men here are gross. Women are beautiful even if they are gross.
It's fair.
All right, Jacob, what happens to Rumk over the years?
He just kind of stays a very like easygoing, very stupid, nice guy. Kind of just doing whatever people ask him to do for money, like just kind of doing what has to be done. He's still paying off a debt, so he's just kind of existing in town, and he can't really leave because if he leaves town, then they assume he's trying to skip out on a debt. So he's like, "Well, town's going to shit, but I can't leave, so I guess I'll just make the best of it."
I like that his voice didn't change over the 10 years.
Yeah,
It's a family condition.
I can't do that. I couldn't do that voice with like a higher.
Uh,
I don't know what I'm doing. Here I am. I'm 6 years old. Like that. That's not good for my. It's not good for my voice.
Mhm.
I probably imagine that like Kat and Rasmus are still like buddies.
Buds,
Like
yeah.
the three musketeers basically are still hanging out, but like I since Rasmus just will like do whatever as long as I cut him in, I'll probably just use him as like a distraction or like a bait for
Yeah.
literally any plan to pull. What is
I'm
that
just
called?
happy. I'm just happy to be
Team, I think.
involved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as far as like your jobs and stuff go, there's definitely it's sort of the thing of like being friends with someone who's a couple years older than you and they graduate college and get a real job, but you're still in college. It's that kind of vibe where like Rasmus and Kat, Jude goes on and like gets this promotion. He's working as a diver. He's buying drugs and alcohol and sleeping with people. And you guys are still effectively deck rats. You know, you're still teens, you're still kids, and so you're kind of a step or two behind him. And so you kind of not necessarily lose touch, but there's definitely a separation that forms after a while. And yes, Jude, with Captain Montague acting weird. I mean, it's not uncommon, especially with the rise of the black market here, for jobs to be like mysterious and keep the details on the down low. But Montague's usually been straightforward with a lot of his stuff, and he's being a little suspicious at this point.
I'll kind of like sidle over to him if I catch him by himself, and I'll just like lean up back next to the rails facing the other direction from him. Like if he's looking out over the sea, I'll look the other way, and I'll just kind of say, "So Monty, you seem a little jumpier than normal, huh? What's the deal with this gig?"
Can't get nothing by you. Let's just call it a hunch. I know it's just a fishing boat, but I don't know. Just keep an eye out for anything shiny while you're down there. Tell me about this job.
That's what I get paid to do.
Little extra hard this time.
If you say so. So it's just a fishing boat, right?
Yeah, just a fishing boat.
You expecting anything shiny on board?
No.
Right? So
All the-
survivors and supplies.
Driver supplies and something shiny.
All right. Survivors, supply, and something shiny. See, still like sketched out, obviously, like something is going on. I don't know. Nothing more has really been gleaned from this conversation, but if anything, now I'm a bit more nervous.
Yes. And you met, and knowing him, he probably won't tell you anything else.
Yeah.
It's just the nature of the job. But he does have quarters on the ship. You want to sneak and try and see what this job's about. Or, rumor has it, he's going to be retiring soon, and he's going to be passing on the crow's feather to his first mate, Hudson.
Hmm.
And so Hudson might also have a little bit of a little insight, depending on which route you want to go.
I will find Cathara and Rasmus doing whatever scams you're running on people on the boat. And I'll go for the Cathara, and I'll just kind of sit down and say, "Captain's acting a bit fishier than normal." Please say two of you go check out his quarters and see if you can't find anything more specific about what we're doing out here.
Okie dokie.
Just look at it, or
Take it, do whatever you want with it. I don't care.
it's nice. Okay, great. Just wanted to have your blessing.
It's appreciated.
Okie dokie.
I'll see if I can grab you something.
That's even more appreciated. Preferably something I can drink, smoke, or through some variety put in my body.
I'm sure there's something in there.
He has a box labeled butt plugs? Is that what you had?
Sea
It's perfect.
dildos.
Another man's butt plugs. Exactly what I needed.
Enemas? Why does he have so many enemas?
Another man's buttplug.jpg.
So for the sake of brevity, ships over the years have sort of developed a bit. They're a bit bigger, a bit more space within them, and so there's a stairwell, a thin, sort of steep stairwell that leads down into sort of the cargo hold, where Captain Montague has his own little private quarters. So it's pretty easy to get there, but there is a door that leads into his private space. Bradley, you have to say.
I'll say, well, I'll ask them to go do that. I want to go find Hudson and talk to him.
Oh, Bradley, you're so smart. That's what I was gonna. That was my card up my sleeve. So, you go find Hudson. The other two, they go sneak down to Captain Montague's quarters. And because now most people keep to themselves, the only people that would have interest of them trying to get into the captain's quarters would be the captain and the first mate. Now that both are effectively distracted with other stuff, easily enough. Let's start with the Hudson conversation. So Hudson,
I'm gonna toilet cat while
go
you do
toilet
that.
cat. So Hudson, a few years older than you, mid-20s. He's started to let a mustache grow out. It's a bit thin. Not quite peach fuzz, but not quite full mustache. Letting his hair grow out a bit longer. Tanned skin, but then this, of course, classic fisherman pea coat. And he says, as you, I assume, approach him, says, Jude, what can I help you with?
Just hoping to catch your ear for a bit of a more private conversation.
Oh, sure.
What's this job really on about?
Oh, fishing boat gone down, wanting to give the loved ones a proper send-off, and, it's a fishing boat, so potentially supplies and, whatever other goods they might have had with them. It's pretty normal stuff.
I'd really like it if my diving partner was forthright with what exactly was going on. I've never seen Monty this jumpy. Not since his wife died.
He said something to you, huh?
He didn't say anything. Just look at the man.
I think there was some melts on the ship. I don't know if it was something that the owners dredged up in their work, or if they were smuggling something. I'm not sure, but apparently there was something of value on that ship. He just said, look out for something shiny. Look out, it might be made of gold.
Yeah.
He's being a little cagey about it, but I trust him.
I know exactly what I'm about to go find, but Jude has no fucking idea.
Yep.
Yikes.
So, you're just as much in the dark on this as I am, then? Is that what I'm to understand?
I mean, he wouldn't even tell me who called for the job. I mean, who would? It was just some fishing boat from Driftchapel. I'm surprised that town's even standing after all.
I'm surprised ours is still standing.
Yeah.
But hey, we're doing our best to keep it that way, right? Well,
Well,
pat on the shoulder.
hey, you gotta watch out for those friends of yours. I think one of them picked my pocket earlier.
Yeah, that's why I keep him around.
Good friends, then. Good friends.
Absolutely. Only the best that Doranport has to offer.
And then we will zip down to the 2 deck rats, now below deck, breaking into the
Below
captain's
deck
quarters,
rats.
searching for
Hell
stuff.
yeah, brother.
And for the sake of brevity and story, it takes you a couple minutes searching through all the ledgers and all the job missives and just everything that the captain has down here for storage. And eventually you do find a job missive dated somewhat recently that matches the description, and it is in fact this job. It's a long, multi-page job missive. Descriptions of the boat, the passengers, the things that were aboard, where they may have left off, where their destination was, where they came. A bunch of nitty-gritty information. But something you notice about all of this is the person who called for the job, how much they paid, and sort of the, not necessarily a footnote, but sort of a bonus to the job. The job is from the mayor of Driftchapel, Mayor Horace Mason. A fishing trawler sent out from the town went out and never came back. It reveals in this job missive that the fishing trawler was not just for fishing. They were also searching for potentially some additional lost items in a former shipwreck. The initial payment for recovering any deceased and any supplies is a number of gold pieces per pounds of stuff, and then an extra 250 gold pieces per person and all sorts of stuff. But the real kicker for this job is sort of the bonus of finding an object in a little statue, maybe 3 feet long, engraved with tentacles and eyes and other squid-like iconography that may have sunk along with this ship, paying a whopping 5,000 gold pieces for it. More probably than Captain Montague has seen in all of his jobs combined. On top of all of the other returning of the bodies and the supplies and whatever else information. So it is a substantial job that, according to this missive, is also supposed to be kept a little quiet. Doesn't really say why, but it's meant to be on the down low, which is why Montague has been keeping it close to his chest. But as far as you two know, you two deck rats down in the captain's quarters, there was never a mention of that 5,000 gold bonus. You only knew about the basic collect the bodies, collect the supplies, then here's the payment per pound. This is a little bit different. Captain Montague's lying. Whether it's for retirement purposes, whether it's for something else, who knows? But he did not tell anyone about that extra 5,000. Or about this strange artifact that needs finding. And that's what's keeping Montague so on edge.
Yikes. Big yikes. I'll steal some shit for Jude.
Yep.
And
Little
for
bit of alcohol.
myself.
A little bit of weed.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
Some dip, probably.
Probably.
Canon.
Did you guys ever see that beef jerky that was like shredded beef jerky that was in
Yes.
like dip sized cans?
Yep.
And did you ever just pretend
All
it was
over
dip
my
as a
high
kid?
school. Not me, no.
I
The
didn't, but
idiot people I went to school with, yes.
Yeah.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Okay,
Oh,
so there was like
okay.
a Jackley. It was like beef jerky, but like shredded into a powder, and it was in. They sold it in like dip shaped cans.
So you would
and-
dip like beef jerky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was literally made so preteens could look like their dads with beef jerky
Yeah.
instead of tobacco.
Wow.
Uh,
And I don't know why, but I
Also known
was
as a
thinking about
gateway
that.
drug.
Yeah, I don't know why I was thinking about that the other day because I was eating some beef jerky and like the taste in my mouth made me think like, oh, remember when they had those
I
dip
wish this
cans of
was in
beef
dip
jerky?
form.
No,
I wish
no,
this
no,
was in a
no.
more inconvenient form to eat.
I
Yeah,
wish I
I
could
wish
suck
like
on
a.
this.
Do you ever just want the taste of meat in your mouth and then like actually no sustenance for it? Me too. Like,
Oh, jeez. Well, I still
sorry,
that shit.
just being raised in the South things.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. And then I go. I assume, go find Jude.
Yep. And at this point, Hudson's walked away to tend to other deckhand needs and tell people what to do and all sorts of stuff. So you have a moment alone.
This bitch is keeping 5,000 gold from us.
I'm sorry. 5,000 gold?
You heard me.
And he's got
That's
it
why he's
here?
so antsy. No, they're gonna give it to him.
Yeah, he's gotta get some tentacle statue.
Something shiny.
Something. Yeah.
I look
Something
at Cat and I
shiny
go,
with
"Am I
a-
saying that right? Tentacle."
Ain't that cool?
Yeah, you got it. You're good.
Tentacle.
Tentacruel.
Yeah.
It's a Pokemon trading card that fell to the bottom of the sea.
They're paying him like a normal rate for whatever we find, but if we find that thing, he's keeping 5,000 gold from everyone.
It's one hell of a retirement plan.
If I were doing that, I would be a little jumpy too, but you know, still annoying when like I can steal from people, but it's still annoying when other people steal from me.
Okay, deck rats. How are we going to
Deck
spend
rat!
this one? I think a fair bit of extortion is required for such a deception.
Well, what about this? The statue's like only a couple feet long. What if we just find the statue first and we keep it for ourselves and we get all that money?
I mean, that would be on Jude. Jude's the one
Yeah.
looking.
Yeah.
We can cover for you, or I can watch him the next few days and get the money for us.
If it's 5,000, we can split it 3 ways.
Now,
Yeah. So it'll be an even split.
I get that Monty's lying to us, and that's a bad thing. I understand that,
Yeah.
and that we need to get back at him. But let's not forget, Captain Montague's been the one giving us jobs since we were kids.
I mean,
Well,
yeah,
maybe
he's old. He's not gonna need
maybe
1,000 gold for very long.
well maybe if we tell
5,000,
him,
maybe
if we
1,000.
ask him, maybe we ask him real nice, he'll cut us in on it since we know about it now.
Or if we ask
Then
him
what
real
is
mean,
your?
he cuts
Did you
us in
find
on
anything out?
nothing of useful stature. Hudson doesn't know either.
If Hudson doesn't know, there's no way he's gonna cut us in.
Not unless we threaten to tell everyone else on board.
Yeah, and we don't even know what that thing is. Could be some Gloam shit. Probably is some Gloam shit.
It's just tentacles and eyeballs.
What
Sounds
makes
like
you
Gloam
say
shit
that,
to me.
Rachel?
Nothing?
It's covered in tentacles and eyeballs. Of course it's Gloam shit.
Yeah.
What makes you say that, huh? What makes you say...
This is a cow farm. Gotta find cows outside.
I mean, how do you think you could find it first?
It's me or Hudson.
And Hudson doesn't
Honestly,
know.
he doesn't know what he's looking for. I do, which I guess gives me some sort of an edge. But
You could
hiding
keep
it
on him.
is going to be a difficult thing. I guess I could bring a sack or something down there with me and hide it in, but
I'm sure there's something on this boat.
I'll figure it out.
What do you use to carry stuff up normally?
I mean, burlap sack. It gets all wet. It's already wet. Who cares?
Yeah, just do that. We'll cover
Okay.
for you when you come up.
I'll have a chat with the captain tonight to make him aware that we are aware And
Are
then
you
we'll
sure
fi-
you want to do that before we find it? Or am I thinking of it out of order? Are we
I mean,
gonna go find
I
it
guess we
before
could
tonight?
wait. I don't know. I just
I
part of me
feel like
wants
it's in
to.
our best interest to wait.
That's fair. That's fair. Okay, we'll wait. We'll wait.
See what we find.
Let's see what we find. If we find it, maybe it's not even there.
I at least wouldn't explicitly tell him. You can talk to him, but I wouldn't tell him explicitly. If he picks up on it, he picks up on it.
We'll hold off.
If not, better for us.
All he knows we know is we're looking for something shiny.
Yeah.
What did you grab from his quarters? Anything shiny?
I pull out like his personal flask and hand it over. It's got like Montague engraved on it.
Yeah.
The Montaboos.
Well, okay. He might recognize this. What if we find something else shiny on board? Take it with us. I'll take it with me and say, look, I found the shiny thing. Give it to him.
We could try that. I can look. See what I can find. I don't know, like a shiny ass plate or some shit.
Yeah, because he
Goblet?
hasn't told us what we're looking for. So if we find something
Yeah.
else shiny down there, as far as he knows, we found what we were looking for.
Right.
Yes.
When would we be using that? Would you be like saying, "Oh, I found a shiny thing," like when you
So
come back up?
I'll take it down with me,
Yeah.
and then I'll come back up and see. Look, I found your shiny thing, and it's just whatever you found on the boat. That's
Oh,
shiny.
okay. Yeah. Yeah.
And he's going to be
Okay.
like, "Oh, thanks, the shiny thing," because he has to put up a facade, and he's blind to us. He can't actually say like, "That's not the shiny thing I need," because
yeah.
he didn't tell us what he needed.
I see. You're so smart, Jude. Man,
Been around.
being like however
You're the
much older you are
smartest
than us.
guy
is-
I know.
I guess you don't know. too
Never
many
change,
people.
Rasmus. Never change.
You still eat bugs?
I mean, sometimes for fun.
I don't do it for nourishment. I do it because I like the taste.
I like the
Crunch.
crunch.
I like the
It-
scrub.
Did you know? Did you know that bugs are one of the best sources of protein? It's low fat, good texture.
You know, someone would disagree with you on the texture thing.
That would be me. I disagree with him on the texture.
100%.
I haven't eaten very many bugs, but most of the time they're a little too crunchy for me.
So,
DM or GM, we are going to find a different shiny thing on board to use as a fake shiny thing.
awesome.
A
Easy enough to do.
chalice
Yeah.
of shiny knife, like silverware, like a butter knife,
I thought
or
you were
a fancy
'cause
knife, and
I
then you
thought
could be like,
said,
I found a shiny thing.
Well, I thought you said chalice of, like a magical
Chalice
item,
of
like
shiny
pearl
knives.
of power, and I thought you meant a chalice of shiny knife, and I was like, that's a what?
You drink out of it, and it stabs you in
It's
the
a
face.
knife. It's like decanter of endless water, but knives. It's like Bradley's bag of spoons or whatever. From that one time.
Oh my
I
gosh!
fucking love that.
What a
That's so
deep
much fun.
cut.
Seriously,
That and skeleton Joby Bell.
what the fuck? Skeleton Joby Bell.
It's honestly something I can never explain.
Dude,
That
I
is funny.
walked behind somebody when I was walking into work today. There was a guy walking in front of me who was like doing the Jay Jackson walk, like almost exactly, but he was like not as wide as Jay Jackson. It seemed like he was a little taller, but I think he just wasn't as wide.
The last time,
But he was
the
like,
last-
his feet were doing the thing and his arms were doing the like gentle swing. It was so weird.
The last time I was in Boone, I happened to be there at the same time that Nathan and their partner were in town, and we were at the music building and we were talking, and Jay Jackson just happened to be walking by, and of course Nathan started talking to Jay Jackson.
Naturally.
The conversation progressed, and Jay Jackson asked Nathan's partner if they went to school there, and then looked at me and asked if I went to school there, and I was like, Yes.
I was here for so long,
You-
J-Jax, you don't remember
You
me.
signed my diploma, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I remember you."
You know he doesn't.
Yeah,
No, he
didn't.
does
Sure
not.
you do.
You
Did not
signed
remember.
my diploma.
Did you see
did,
your hat?
did not remember my name.
Brother?
Yeah, he did not remember my name. That's all
Okay.
right. I consider that honestly. That's probably a good thing.
Yeah, that's fine. So, for the sake of brevity, you give Jude his shiny thing.
Mhm.
Everyone gets geared up to, or by everyone, Jude and Hudson get geared up to descent down. You tie off your lines to be able to pull up. This is my job title. You get your lines prepared, so whenever Jude finds something that needs to be pulled up, he can tie it off and you pull it back up to the boat. Everything gets situated. Jude and Hudson descend into the dark ocean of Trawler's Bay. And we'll go through this kind of lightning fast. Business as normal. Hudson heads one way, Jude heads another. Jude sends up a bit of cargo here, a bit of cargo there, and it looks like Bradley's frozen. Bradley, are you there?
Oh yikes! What a terrible time.
no.
Oh. Hello? There's a little bit.
This will be the worst
Oh.
thing ever.
Hello?
Oh,
Hello?
you're moving?
Oh, there he is.
We see you?
Hey.
You're
Hey.
fine now.
Hello, can you hear me?
I think so.
Yes, we're good.
Okay.
What a shite
This is
time to
about to be
So
disconnect.
I'm gonna need all that one more time.
Perfect.
It's storming pretty bad.
Oh, okay.
outside.
Oh,
Business
no.
as normal. You jump down, take your lines with you to send up cargo and things. You head one direction, Hudson heads the other. And you send up a bit of cargo here, a bit of cargo there. You don't find the back half of the ship. He's frozen again.
Fuck.
Here can still
Bradley.
hear you.
You can still
Oh,
hear
okay.
us? I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's delayed, but I can hear you.
Okay. Well, Bradley knows what I'm about to say. Because he's already written it. He finds the first of the dead from this sunken fishing boat. A body that has been sort of claimed by the sea. Fish have already eaten away at the eyes and eaten away at the lips, and the body's swollen up, and there's been a bit of algae and other growth on it. And so while Jude is tying a line off on the body so it can get pulled up to the surface, a sea slug-like creature floats out from the eye sockets. Kind of lazily, drifting through the water.
Ugh.
And just for a moment, as Jude thinks it's about to just drift away, it turns and shoot through the water, crashes against the visor of Jude's diving helmet, breaking the glass and getting sucked into the helmet with all the water. The helmet begins to flood with seawater. And the last things that Jude remembers, the taste of seawater filling his mouth, and the burrowing of this sea slug into his eye. And that was the last time that Rasmus, Cat, saw Jude. Hudson eventually came back without a golden anything, without a shiny anything, but with a bit of cargo and a few bodies. Eventually had to give up the search on Jude and returned back to the Eggfield Isles. But Mr. Edwards, you feel a sharp pain. Not in your eye, not necessarily in your lungs or anything, but in your arm. You feel a cut, something slicing into your skin. You you go to open your eyes, one of them's completely shut and the other one's fuzzy. You can't hardly turn your head. Your neck is stiff and it feels like your head weighs 1,000,000 pounds. Your whole body feels stiff and like you can't even move it. It feels so stiff. But you feel on one of your arms, one hand grabbing at the base of your arm and a cutting, slicing sensation across your arm, as if someone's grabbing it. And for a brief second, you feel like you can move your arm.
I try and get away, move away, or stop whatever this cutting move.
There is a crashing sound, metal and glass scattering across a stone floor, and then a thud. And then in your sort of blurry vision, blurry haze, you see a pale man, kind of lean, long, thin face, dark hair, a blood-stained, like, lab coat, basically. Glasses reflecting a bit of the gas lamps around him. He steps sort of into your eye line, kind of adjusts his glasses. Grins. Good evening, Mr. Edwards. My name is Dr. Smith. You're back from the dead. And you look down and see your arms and legs fully strapped down to an operating table. But there is a tentacle that is unfurling from your body that has incision marks across it that has seemingly appeared and lashed out. And Dr. Smith gives a laugh, and that's where we'll stop.
Jesus Christ.
This is such a fun,
yo.
unique experience. I have never gotten to role play through one of my characters' backstories before.
That's wild.
Especially like you knew what
That
was
is so
happening. It
fucking
was
cool.
and like
Yeah, and it was still so much fun.
and there's a part of my prep where it's just like the rest has been determined. Like this is what happens. I don't have to prep anymore. This is how it ends.
Yeah.
Dude.
And then, of course, for a little bit of cinematic unrolling of things, Hudson gets the crow's feather, and Hudson begins transporting refugees from Eggfield Isles to Driftchapel, and becomes one of those ships that takes people back and forth. And, of course, it is up to the two other deck rats if they would decide to leave Eggfield Isles, or if they stay and eventually get taken by the Gloam. And then Jude gets saved, or gets... It's a little uncertain if Dr. Smith is the one who did the saving, or if something else did the saving, but Jude becomes Kamin and eventually meets Amina and joins up with the rest of the campaign. And of course, at this point, at the regular point in the Shadows Over Driftchapel campaign, the Eggfield Isles is gone. It has been completely taken by the Gloam. Oh, that was interesting.
Yikes.
That was interesting. At playing the normal people, like,
That was so much
just
fun.
D6 based outcome stuff. Like that was,
I
that was
loved
different.
it.
Yeah,
That
that
was
was very different. I
awesome.
loved it.
It was super
That was
simple, but made it, like, more fun to enjoy. It's like we're not immersed in mechanics or anything else. It's
You're
just
playing
like you're
it.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I told Rachel that it was much more fun to prep because of that too, because I didn't have to worry about like what classes are people playing, what abilities do they have, what do I need to make sure that I have this of and this of this of. It's just I was able to write like a story, and then just like go through
Just
it.
an acting exercise
Yeah.
at that point.
Fun though. I really wanted to come up with a reason why Dr. Smith would give Jude the name of Kamin. And I was very close to using the thing of like, the sea had already revived him, basically, and he wandered up and knocked on Dr. Smith's door And I was thinking about having Dr. Smith say, "Yep, you just came right in. You just came into my office and say, Kamin." I was like, nah, that's not
Aw.
good.
That would have been fucking awesome. That would have
Damn
been
it.
hilarious. I would have loved that. It's not too late. It happened. It's
It
canon.
happened.
It's
He made a
canon.
pun.
I didn't even
Something.
mean to do that.
Oh man, yeah, that was a
I don't
whole lot
stop
of
fucking
fun.
up. It's this Trek. Am I ripped off Star Trek?
And I know Daniel mentioned wanting to do a thing of Amina younger, but I feel like playing in a thing with Amina in like magic school, we would need to do something a little bit different. A bit more magic-y stuff. I know there's like the Kids on Bikes version of like Kids on Brooms where it's like Harry Potter, like magic school themed.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's
I
a
feel
little
like
more whimsical.
Yeah,
you could use magic with this system. You would just say like, I use my magic to do X
that's true.
or whatever.
Try to make X thing happen.
Yeah. I think, in terms of epilogue, I think Kat probably just like succumbed to the Gloam.
Oh, so you stayed until the end?
Yeah, too much trauma. She was like, maybe I'll see Jude in there somewhere.
Oh no.
Aw.
Oh no.
Aw.
Oh my heart.
Cause like, does she really want to keep dealing with this just somewhere else?
Oh. Yeah, that's the other thing
It's
too
been
about
shitty
like
the whole time.
getting up and leaving the Eggfilled Isles is like the best you could do is like go to Driftchapel and like you would just be starting over like dozens of times and like
I already don't have anything.
yeah.
So anyway, not to be super sad, I was just thinking about it and I was like,
Okay.
yeah, probably just
Makes sense.
I mean, she was already kind of leaning towards evil anyway. So might as well just become a cultist.
Mm-hmm.
Later you in Shadows of Over Travel, you guys come across a cultist spy with a mullet.
Oh no.
Dude,
A mullet and
might.
gray eyes.
Well, and then we find a cultist sitting in the corner eating bugs.
Hey.
Well, hey there! You
No,
guys heard of Katu?
Do you have
Nah.
time to hear
Rasmus,
the good word?
Rasmus wouldn't become a cultist.
Would he
He's
leave?
too
A
good
lot of these
natured.
people,
Yeah, he would
I don't
leave.
think have been making the choice to. I think they have become one, regardless of their will.
Who knows? Who knows what happened to him?
Mm-hmm.
I'll leave that open to interpretation. Maybe he'll come back someday.
Maybe one day.
Maybe
Jesus.
someday.
I can't imagine you bringing in a character like this at this point in the campaign. Like, you guys are in these, like,
It's so funny.
underdark caverns and, like, waterways and horrible things happening. All of a sudden, you're like, oh,
I
hey!
got lost back there. I couldn't find my way back out.
Hey,
Well,
I mean,
hi.
you have my number. Give me a call.
Jesus Christ.
Oh my gosh.
I already got a
key
class
to
picked out. I can do
surviving.
it.
The campaign is Rasmus.
It's just-
Also, I like that you worked so hard to pick out your last name and we didn't use it the whole session. We
It's
just
alright.
called you Rasmus instead
It
of
was funny.
It's so hard to
Gump or
say!
whatever.
It was
What
so
is
it?
it?
was
good.
Scrum.
It was scrump.
Scrumk.
Sure.
It was meant to make you laugh like one time, and the fact that we laughed about it multiple times, worth it.
Thanks, Logie, for running that game.
Yes, I'm glad it was good.
I got a tornado siren going off
Oh,
outside.
no way.
So I'm gonna get off. I'll talk
Okay.
to y'all later.
Be
Be safe.
I will
Love you.
try. Love you too.
Bye.
Bye.
I guess that's a. Oh, that
Oh.
really effed up everything. Oh,
I'm
jeez.
being sawed in half.
Oh, jeez. I can't fix it very quickly.
Yikes.
Let me go to the base thing. We're just gonna say bye here in a second, so I don't need to work too hard. It just looks awful. Did I not have captions on this whole time?
I don't think so.
Damn it.
Yikes, Logan.
Well, there's captions.
Not very accessible of you, bro.
I know.
Every other time. Well, to be fair, the captions are not great quality anyway, so
Yeah.
But they're there.
they are there. Thanks everyone who hung out. Thank you Nobushi Noeve for coming and hanging out since the very freaking beginning, before we even really started.
This was a wild ride of
And we have officially named Hudson Corgi.
Hudson Corgi. I love it.
How about Hudson Corgus?
Corgus.
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 Oh, jeez.
Smolf.
I was gonna say, Rachel, whenever I was trying to figure out that last name, I did the thing that I do when we play Monster Prom, where I just go like, I make a sound and I just like go like Dronko Glorntus.
It's awesome. Man, I forgot about Monster Prom.
Also, the new one's coming out soon.
There's
The
a new one?
Monster, yeah, Monster Road Trip is coming out soon.
Monster Road
Oh,
There's a demo.
shit. I feel like I've heard of it. Ooh. Maybe I'll stream it
It would.
You can play it sometime.
whenever I get tired of streaming Skyrim. But then after I stream Skyrim, I
You'll
have
never
to
get
stream
tired of
Final
Skyrim.
Fantasy, according to Angel.
You do.
Yeah,
I will play with you.
I know you will. Angel would too, probably.
Yeah.
All we have
we'll
to
a
do
good
is
co-op.
get Logan to play with me, and then I'll stream it.
It sounds like you're never gonna stream it then.
You'll like it. You would. I
Would you
think.
play? Would you play Monster Prom with us?
I'd be more likely to play Monster Prom than Final Fantasy.
Monster Prom is less of a commitment.
Exactly.
It's a very good game. Very good. But you'd have to buy your own copy, unfortunately.
It's not co-op.
It's a very cheap game.
I don't think it's not like
It is
co-op.
it is like co-op, like couch co-op, but the thing is you couldn't do like, I don't know if you could
can't
do
both.
like couch co-op while you
Oh,
can co-op too.
Gotcha.
I'm not sure. I could not tell you.
who knows? Not me.
Not I.
I guess we'll go ahead and end here. Thank you, Nobushi Noeve, for being here. M. Liney, thank you for being here. Schwendy, looks like you're here. If you are interested in this very rules-light, scary game, it's called Cthulhu Dark. We actually use the older version of the rule set. It's free and online. I think there's a newer version.
Free and online.
It's very fun, very simple, good pick up and play kind of game.
Online.
Online.
Reminds me of a
Role-playing
book
RPG.
that I came across my desk a few months ago that was called Heaven is Real and Fun.
Who you trying to convince, bro?
Oh, I'll tell you about it sometime.
Very
It was wild.
real.
That's a
Heaven
that's a
is
thing
very
a
real.
cultist would say.
I swear,
Exactly.
on God.
Super real. So fun. Very real.
That's the link in
Not
chat
clickbait.
For Cthulhu Dark. And also shout out to Tabletop Audio for your sweet music and ambience. Ambiance?
Oh, I
Ambience.
forgot to turn it
Ambiance.
on this whole
That's
time.
okay.
It's
I was
so
only
good.
playing banging music.
Banging music.
I was
It was
playing
pretty
Hey,
banging music.
that's how you get banned on Twitch.
Not that type of channel, Logan.
Fine. Then I
It
guess
could-
I'll cancel next week's stream.
It could be.
All right. Good night, you guys. And we'll
Oh, the
Mhm.
weather in the Eggford.
Oh yeah, Bradley's
Eggford?
gone. So I
Isles?
guess Rachel, you stayed. So what's the weather like in the Eggfeld Isles?
There are tornadoes. It's very windy.
It sure is.